was that, like a minute and a half long? That was the shortest song I've ever heard in my life, man.
And do you know who that is?
That's Lil Nas X.
Frank, how is that not cultural appropriation?
Wow.
As an Italian Polak, I feel I couldn't dress like that and do that song because that would be culturally appropriate in the Texans. You know?
No, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm cruising through the info out here, but I distinctly remember who's the fella on the song with him.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yes, Billy Ray Cyrus. So Billy Ray Cyrus
isn't that Achy Breaky Heart?
Billy Ray Cyrus, who I believe is Miley Cyrus's dad.
The Wrecking Ball.
He's the father of the Wrecking Ball. I'm still not familiar. And so
she just came in like one, man. That's all I know.
I'm pretty sure that Billy Ray Cyrus, let's see here. Yeah, like he re-released it. Like the dude Lil Nas X recorded it, and I don't think it was very popular, but then he re-released it with Billy Ray Cyrus, and then it became the huge hit that it was.
No, it's a dumbass song, and people just listen to it because Billy Ray Cyrus was on it.
That is why, and so I distinctly remember I had no knowledge of this jam, and Emma told me about it and how it was this big phenomenon down south, like in Texas and Alabama, where the Southern fellas were really big and into this jam, and then they found out Lil Nas is, who he is. He's a gay fella. And
a gay black dude.
he also likes to, he's quite flamboyant with his dress choices. And
no, that's what I mean, dude. And you're like dressing like a cowboy. I don't know, dude. He just seems a little.
Well, I think it was all to sell some records, get some publicity and notoriety, and then he did.
I'm just saying, at a time when Gwen Stefani gets canceled,
I think this was a fully supported kind of thing. Yeah, I think Billy Ray Cyrus was really into it. I think people, I think country music folk were country music.
Ben Crump.
I think the country music people are always down to do a little genre mixing, you know. Ben Crump.
Okay, so
nice one.
He's the only one who supported it.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me ask you something.
Yeah, man.
Real talk.
Oh, all right.
You're Billy Ray Cyrus or any of the white people who approved of this and quote unquote loved this, right? A gay black man walks into your office full of white people. It says, I have this great idea where we all do this song together and it's going to be great. Which one of you is going to tell him no? Because I don't think you're like a real cowboy.
Well, I think he kind of did like a gay urban cowboy thing, right? Isn't that kind of what he was going for?
Is there any other kind?
Well, you get the gay Aspen mountain cowboy here in Colorado.
Oh, no, yeah, they're all gay. I just meant,
I was very specific about throwing in the word gay before I said cowboy, I think. So here, this song initially gained popularity on the social video sharing app TikTok and eventually entered the Billboard charts in March 2019.
So spread by the Chinese.
Yes, this is
a gay black man singing a country song that was spread around America by the Chinese government.
I totally believe it too, because then after this song came out, he came out and started wearing like extravagant female dresses and
oh, you guys see this picture I'm looking at. He's got a white wig with bangs and long white hair.
If you want to be entertained, just Google Lil Nas X Met Gala. You will just be filled with colorful, wild, insane imagery. He's an interesting fella. There's no doubt about it. I don't really have a problem with him, I guess, outside of the fact he did do the same thing as Sam Smith.
That's why I picked it.
Yes, man.
You know it. Yeah, I don't like these guys, dude. Why you guys just followed this fad? And
it's a weird. Yes, that's.
Although you know what, man? Now that I think about it, hold on. Gotta come to their. Gotta get them back here. Isn't it the same thing as the Beatles going from the doo-wop to the psychedelic movement?
No, there's no way going from mop top to long shoulder length hair and a mustache is the same. In fact, the Beatles became more manly looking when they did Abbey Road.
Yeah, okay, but that's just because that's the way the trends of society were going. These guys are just following the trends of today's society.
You're right. The trend of society from boys to become men was the same up until 3 years ago.
No, you're right, dude. I'm not joking.
Like 5 seconds ago, it became the trend for boys to become women.
Yeah, it's the best thing you could do as a boy. It's the greatest accomplishment. Your greatest accomplishment as a boy is becoming a woman.
And you are correct, sir, and nobody knows this more than our favorite tranny, Big Mike. Oh, yeah, That's right. Big Mike in the house. Big Mike. Did somebody ask for Big Mike? And so...
I just want to be like Mike, but my hands are too small.
Like Mike. Want to be like Mike. So, speaking of basketball and being just like Mike, Michael, you know what I got for you, my friend?
What's that?
This is Zaya Wade talking to Big Mike Obama.
So I wanted to ask you.
So this is a boy dressed as a girl talking to a man dressed as a woman. Okay.
Yes, and I want everyone to pay very close attention to the question this young lady fella asks or says. It's not a question. I guess it's a statement that she makes to Michelle Obama, a.k.a. Big Mike.
So I wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for teens who want to be themselves and thrive like you have and currently are?
Okay, so she's just... This is a... Dwayne Wade's son, who's now become or is transitioning into or is transitioned into a female, and she's asking for some advice from Michelle Obama, because Michelle Obama is just like her.
So I wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for teens who want to be themselves and thrive like you have and currently are?
I'm reading this correctly, right? Am I reading this question in the statement correctly?
Maybe she just means thrive as a person, not necessarily a trans. Or, maybe she really does see herself as a woman, and she's just meaning, like, a one woman to another woman.
Interesting take. Let's do one more.
What advice do you have for teens who want to be themselves and thrive like you have and currently are?
See, she says teens. So I think she just means, like, you're a successful person.
All right.
Also,
there was a long pause there, and then I'm going to say this right here. Michelle gets a little defensive.
Michelle, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell my little brother all the time. You have to defend yourself a lot against being gay to not be gay. For somebody who's not gay, you sure spend a lot of your life arguing with people about not being gay,
There's a lot of disturbing imagery.
It's like, Michelle, there's no other first ladies that spend half their time arguing with people about whether or not they're a man.
I stumbled upon a little gallery of images on Twitter that somebody had threaded through, and it was all little mini clips of Michelle dancing and walking, and yes, some package and bulge, movement going on there in the crotch region. And there's
I'm not gonna lie, I've seen the video, a couple of those clips. I'm very jealous.
She's
packing. That ain't no 9mm, if you know what I'm saying.
She's got the meat. Barry likes to be taken care of.
That's a fucking kielbasa in that fucking pants, man.
So I was telling Emma about it. I showed Emma the clip, I think, that we were listening to, and she was just kind of a little confused. I said, "Here, let me show you a few pictures I got here." I was scrolling.
The problem is she is pretty manly. She's so big.
A lot going on there, like broad shoulders. And so I'm scrolling through the pictures of the junk shots, and they're really funny. There's a lot out there, and eventually I was like, "Okay, stop! I can't take it anymore. It's like too much."
So the last time I was arguing this against a woman in a bar, I literally said, "Okay, look at her, look at Michelle." I showed, pictures online, and I said, if she walked in this door, she would be the third toughest man. Like, look around. She would be the tallest person here and the third toughest man. only 2 men in this bar could take her. The rest of us, probably not. I'm not betting money on them. You know?
Michelle Obama. Big Mike! Big Mike. Are you ready for Big Mike? Big Mike in the room. Oh, yeah. Big Mike.
Like, I've never dated a woman that's walked into any room and been the toughest person in the room. I'm just kidding. Michelle's a beautiful woman.
Yes, of course. Yeah, maybe. We'll never know the truth.
And currently are. You know? I mean, I am just so proud of you, being just an amazing role model and embracing your truth, right? You're already doing this. So maybe this is for some other young people that are listening.
See? She's specifically talking about people transitioning.
Okay, yeah, I stand corrected. So
she's very specifically.
I took it as people, but then Michelle herself went with the.
You're doing this.
Oh,
You're talking to people who are just beginning. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna start from the beginning. I want everyone to soak in this clip, man.
Yeah,
we got a deep dive on this one. This is a very specific, very directed, undertoned question.
I gotta give it to them. This made me forget about the 5 billion or million, whatever. See, I don't even know. What did Joe take? I don't care.
Hunter,
I gotta hear this, Big Mike.
What was in that? What was in Ashley's diary?
Oh, his next laptop's just gonna be clips of Michelle.
You better be careful. I heard the dong is bigger than his.
Oh, I guarantee. Fucking Malia's clit's probably bigger than his, dude.
So I wanted to.
All right, so.
That was terrible. I'm drunk.
This is very directed. This is very specific. I wouldn't have played it on the show unless I listened to it several times over. I'm like, holy crap, they're talking about being trannies.
So
this is two trannies talking.
This is two trannies talking. Yes.
You know how you know? Because we right now, it's actually like uncomfortable to listen to. Because right now, me and you are we're privy now to a conversation that's not for us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying? This is like your mom talking to your sister about menstruating. Like,
this is just two chicks talk.
This is two trannies talking
about being chicks. This is two dudes talking about being chicks. I want to remind everyone. And just listen to the language. The language is
we shouldn't be listening.
The language is very specific.
So I wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for teens who want to be themselves and thrive like you have and currently are?
Well, like you have and currently are.
You know? See how defensive that is?
Yeah, she even says, like you are.
Yes, dude. No, it's so obvious. Dude. It's so crazy.
Okay.
Like you have and currently are. You know? I mean, I am just so proud of you, being just an amazing role model and embracing your truth, right? You're already doing this. So maybe this is for some other young people that are listening. But let me just say, it does take time to know what your self is, for young people. So my first piece of advice is be patient with yourself.
Oh yeah. Be patient. And then someday you could bang the next future president.
Dude, we gotta stop doing this podcast. The more we do it, the more I think you're right about the world. I don't know, man. When we first started this podcast, I knew how the world worked. You were the crazy conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah, man.
You're right about everything. God damn, she is a man.
Yeah,
that's a lady fella.
Big Mike. What's that little Dwayne Wade? Let me tell you all about being Big Mike. You want to shave your beard? I'll show you how.
What's wrong with two ladies who can both dunk just having a conversation?
Man, Big Mike. Let me show you how to tuck that thing. Big Mike.
Like, how many men do you know that can palm a basketball?
Big Mike.
Big Mike can.
Yeah, man. Oh, I was thrown off guard by this clip, dude. I kept going over and over on it. And each word I started realizing like they're very specific about what they're saying.
It's almost like I don't want to say the wrong thing to people know, but I also don't want to alienate these kids.
Yes. So
that was a tightrope.
That was the tightest rope, man. That's what I'm saying. They're like, clearly, you're talking trannies, but you never mention it once, but you're definitely talking about trannies. Like, there's
I've had many conversations like that about weed. Nobody said a word. Somehow we all ended up at the same place smoking weed. You know what I'm saying?
Yes! There's no other way to parse through what they're talking about there. Like, they're not talking about basketball.
I didn't even see it. I just heard it, but I could, like, visualize the winks.
Dude, they're not talking about sports or climate change or, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're talking about something very, very... And again, back to what you were kind of alluding to earlier when we were hedging into the clip, you know, you could infer maybe they're discussing being women, right? Because Michelle's a woman, and now this, you know, Zaya is a woman. But there's very specific mentions to what this person's going through and how they're in the process and how we're speaking to people who are about to enter that process and how you have to be patient.
Very specific.
Oh, there's just so many words. It was so thick, dude. One of our shorter clips, too. I'm just like totally floored that leaked out there. Because one of my favorite conspiracies, absolutely, of the last fucking like 10 years, is Big Mike Obama. Like, it's so funny. And there's an interview out there. You can find it. It's online. It's very easy to search. There's a guy who was, I think it was in Congress. I can't remember where it was, like maybe in court, but he testifies to having homosexual relationships and smoking crack cocaine with Barack Obama, who he called Barry Obama, or Barry Sotero, I believe was his name.
The exact words were they smoked crack cocaine, and then he blew him.
He blew him in the limousine, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so it's out there. And there are a lot of prominent figures and famous people who have alluded to the fact that Barry Sotero, Barack Obama, is a gay man and has been well known to be so. And right before her death, there's video, and you could search it. It's Joan Rivers. She's on camera as she's walking to her apartment, talking about how everybody knows Michelle Obama's a tranny. And she says to the reporter, you know, don't bullshit me, you know, whatever. You know, we all know, everybody knows Barack's the first gay president and Michelle's a tranny. And then she died like 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Frank, I'm going to give you a maybe on this one now. I used to laugh at you. I think I'm going to give you a maybe.
I'm pretty sure I've got you convinced on holographic drones for 9/11. I think I've got you on Flat Moon Theory. I'm pretty sure I've got you in...
I'm running with Flat Moon Theory to the end just because I love it.
Yeah, Flat Moon Theorists. Unite, people. That's a disc of some floating provolone cheese, people.
Never seen the other side.
You can chat together.
Or you could provolone, my friend. Yeah! And that moon is proven alone, all flat and shit, you know? Like a piece of provolone cheese, dude.
What I'm kind of supporting...
Those aren't craters. Those are holes.
All Flat Moon theories aside, when it comes to the conspiracy theories, it seems as if, unfortunately, that most are true because, I don't know, man, the veil has been pulled. Everything has been a lie. And what have I been saying to you? I think I declared it many months ago on the show. But in order to be a full-on conspiracy theorist, I gotta go all in. I gotta believe it all, right? And the further I jump into that fucking rabbit hole, the deeper I go, man, I'm more and more sold. I'm believing day by day. Holy God, everything is a lie. They're fucking with us. They're poisoning our skies with chemtrails. They're poisoning our water with fluoride. They're poisoning our food with mRNA vaccines. Look it up. They're giving the vax to cows. Like, they are hell-bent on fucking killing us, man. It's crazy. And the moon landing was fake, people. And I'm serious. I'm obsessed with the skies. They are chemtrailing like crazy in Colorado. We are averaging 10 below to 20 below. It was raining, scorched skies again today. Every day.
It's because of the fires in Canada. Come on.
No, actually, you are wrong, sir. Completely wrong. Those will probably hit us when we're projected to have sunny days for the first time in 10 months. I guarantee the winds will change, and Alberta will blow its smoke up our ass for the entire week.
They keep telling us everything. It doesn't even make sense. It's the sunniest day ever. And that's because, the smoke from Canada diverted the sun rays. So you got hit double. Next day it's cloudy. Well, that's because of the smoke from Canada. How powerful is this smoke from Canada?
I don't think it's smoke. I think they're spraying us like bugs. They're chemtrailing like crazy. Mike, this one's for you.
Isn't there always smoke from Canada every year?
I think so.
A new air quality alert for parts of the Midwest as smoke from the Canadian wildfires brings unhealthy air and hazy skies into the U.S.
Yeah, stop right there. Today I got home after working all day outside, inside, everything. Didn't even notice there was anything in the air. Today we were supposedly red. It was unhealthy
air. Makes no sense. Yeah, I know.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm jealous. I haven't seen the sky in months.
Chicago. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. Millions of people in cities across the Great Lakes are waking up to find the sky filled with that Canadian wildfire smoke. Now, it's been especially bad in the Minneapolis area. At its peak, the air quality there yesterday.
Yeah, and this is an audio program, but if you are watching these clips, this guy, there's no smoke behind him. There's just like clear sky. It's really strange. It's a strange report.
What are you talking about?
It's a very weird report. And I'm obsessed with the clouds. I'm obsessed with the sky and the weather. They are constantly lying to us here in Denver about the weather. It'll say sunny skies, 75, and you go out and it's just gray overcast because they've been spraying fucking chemtrails all day.
This one's really bothering me because they're like telling people, "Oh, Frank, if you have any kind of health issues, you should just stay home. The air is too bad to breathe."
Yeah, they do that here.
Go outside, it's like a fresh, beautiful day, dude. I'm not even just saying this. I'm just thinking about this now, as like listening to this. Dude, earlier today, I walked out of one of the schools, and I just remember being hit with the smell of this flowering tree.
Wow!
And I was like, dude, that's almost overpowering. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, beautiful.
How much smoke is in the air if I'm smelling these flowering trees?
Here in Colorado, when we've had our fires, and we've had quite a few over the last 20 years that I've been here, I'm telling you, when the smoke is in the air. It's you taste it. It's in everything. You have to close the windows, man. It fucking fills up in the house. Like, it's not comfortable.
They do the once a year. They do the controlled burn. It's like 4 blocks from our house, next to the Des Plaines River.
Oh yeah, man.
It's not a forest fire, dude. It's just like literally it's like a 2 block by like maybe a quarter mile stretch.
A coordinated
and it stinks up.
Yeah. And hey, if you're curious about how these Canadian wildfires started, take a look at the satellite imagery. Looks a little coordinated. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, where are the where's all our Canadian fans at, man? We need some eyes on the ground.
I just think the fire started at the same time. I think the government there in cahoots. This is a World Economic Forum like smoke them out, destroy our skies, take away our sunlight so we don't get the vitamin D that we need. They're poisoning everything, our air, our water. I'm serious about this, man. I think their plans went awry. I saw this clip of a woman who worked within these organizations and said that Trump was a huge bust to them, that they planned on Hillary being president in 2016 and releasing COVID that year, and then they would do the food and water shortage in 2020. But everything backfired because of Trump, so now everything's delayed.
Yeah.
So they did 2020 COVID, now 2024, 2025, we're going to do the food shortage. Doesn't it feel like we're gearing up that way? Kind of does. You know, you smoke out the sky and spray chemicals and do your chemtrails and your cloud seeding and you block out the sun. You stop plants from growing and producing. I think they're creating food shortages. And
it could be why they did the war in Ukraine. It's the breadbasket.
Yeah, man. You create these food shortages and then you poison the water with the shit you're spraying. Man, this is I think war is on. We're in the midst of a World War III. We just don't realize it. And it's the 1%, the elitists, against us, the rest of us, man. It's crazy.
Well, Frank, man, I'm so glad you brought that up. Because I too have been really worried about, like, the geopolitical scene. Like, there's a lot going on, right?
Hell yeah, man.
And it's always the people like us at the bottom that just get fucked. And so that's why it's so good to have a president that's just tackling the big issues.
Yes.
You know? So I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but this was like breaking news all over.
Oh, no, I can't wait, man.
This is what Joe Biden was doing all day yesterday, and I'm so glad because, man, Frank, when you're on the verge of World War III, it's important to have a leader that knows what the people need. You know?
Yeah, man.
Once my slow internet loads, you guys,
production crew. See, this is what you get in Joe Biden's economy, folks. No good help out there. It's impossible to get. You can't even get people to show up for work, let alone know how to do the job the right way. That's the reality of the world we're living in.
You see, the problem is they created this monopoly.
President Joe Biden announcing several large companies, including Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation, committing to post all-inclusive pricing up front rather than surprising consumers with additional fees at the end of checkout.
These hidden charges the companies sneak into your bill to make you pay more without you really knowing it.
The president hosting executives from other big corporations like SeatGeek, a mobile-focused ticketing platform, and Airbnb, a rental marketplace.
That's not bad editing. They just started talking over him.
Yes. It sounded like he fell asleep.
The administration's latest pressure campaign to end so-called junk fees.
The companies represented here today are voluntarily committing to all-in upfront pricing.
The White House lauding Biden's efforts to lower costs for hardworking families. The ticketing issue reached a boiling point.
Did you catch that?
Yes.
That was my favorite part. Lowering costs for hardworking families.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks. So now my Taylor Swift ticket is $200 less.
I can't afford milk, but now I can afford my Bonnaroo ticket.
I know.
November, when fans faced exorbitantly high prices for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour tickets.
You nailed it, Frank.
We spent 6,000. Experiences are forever. Like, we will never forget this.
Live Nation saying concert attendance was up 24% last year compared to pre-pandemic numbers from 2019, while the average U.S. concert ticket price came in at just over $100.
This is a win for consumers, in my view, and proof that our crackdown on junk fees has real momentum.
Live Nation plans to roll out the all-in pricing experience in September. The White House says more companies plan to heed the president's call so consumers can know exactly what they're paying for up front. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
All right, man. Wow. Love it. This is the important topics of our day. This is
you're
what
not clapping?
This is what we should be paying attention to.
This is an achievement of a presidency right here. This is why we need to give him 4 more years, Frank.
We could chalk this
Look what
up.
he did.
This reminds me of the time he canceled student debt and then Do you remember when he ended daylight savings time? Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me of both of those times.
The worst part is every failure you bring up is still better than when he lost 13 servicemen in his horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan.
That's right, man. Never forget.
Never forget, dude. And I mean, this guy, everything, me and you, I'm a fucking dumbass plumber from Chicago. I literally spend all day rotting sewers. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're a little higher up than me, logistics manager, no big deal.
I drive cars.
Still, we're two idiots, right?
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
you just mentioned, before I played that clip, you mentioned a whole list of things that like you wish the president would take care of.
That's right, man.
And what does he come out with? We took care of these hidden junk fees on concert tickets.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know who's going to those concerts? Fuck them. Gouge them. You got enough time to go to that concert? Go. Pay the fees. Fuck them. Those are the people you should be charging fees.
I buy tickets to shit all the time. I go to baseball games when we have, the opportunity to do so. We were looking at tickets to go to either the Dead and Company. They're on their farewell tour, their 6th farewell tour, and they're playing at Folsom Field in Boulder. Which, for anyone out there, you haven't been to Boulder, Folsom Field's the stadium for the football team there. It's actually a really beautiful kind of old school style stadium.
Is it close to Folsom Prison?
It's not anywhere near Folsom Prison, and it's a great place to see the Dead, and you could go and grab like a ticket. I believe it was like $125 on Ticketmaster for a ticket to go check out the Dead with John Mayer on a July evening, right? Not a bad deal. Or you could, the same night, you could pay $500 plus taxes and fees to go see Blink-182 at the Pepsi Center.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
But do you know what? The reason is, the reason that they're that price is because you can't get enough people to go see the Grateful Dead anymore. It's a bunch of geriatrics. It's a bunch of geriatrics with John Mayer, right? So tickets got to be $100-something bucks. At the Pepsi Center, you're jacking the prices up to $1,000 to be up in the front row to see Blink-182 because the people are going to pay it. Same with the Taylor Swift, man. Those tickets were thousands of dollars to see her here in Denver.
Yeah.
Look,
fine. And if you're willing to pay it, pay it. You know what I mean?
Yes, because these people, Blink-182, Taylor Swift, they have a product that they're selling and people are willing to pay that price for it. Okay, let them be. Yeah. That's fucking capitalism, I thought.
Oh, there's a lot of idiots out there. See, I already know. See, me and you are playing the smart game. I'm going to go see the Dead for $100 today, right?
Yeah, man.
Because I know, Lindsay Lohan. What are we talking about?
Taylor Swift.
I know in 30 years, you're going to be $100.
Yes. Yeah,
I'll go see you in 30 years when you're $100.
I'll check you.
I'll go watch some saggy titties jump on stage. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go watch you when you're 100 pounds fatter and a little more angrier.
Oh, when Lizzo's in the grave and you took her spot as the fat, spokeswoman, I'll go see you.
I was kind of thinking more like people who went to go see Stevie Nicks in the 90s. A little thicker, still got the voice, Dim the lights a little bit, still got...
She wasn't attractive when she was skinny.
No way, man. Come on, check out some vintage pics of Stevie Nicks. She had it going on.
Stevie Nicks?
Check out some old pics. Come on, from the 70s.
I don't know, man.
I think you're thinking of somebody else, I'm not gonna lie. We may have a Don Cheadle situation going on here.
I was definitely thinking about somebody else.
I knew you were. You were probably thinking of... I know.
Oh, no, dude, dude. Have you seen that face? That is a 70s face.
I said babes were babes in their time, man, some times have changed.
That's not even in her time, dude.
Stevie Nicks was a babe in the 70s and 80s. You cannot change my mind about that.
I don't know, dude. Oof.
I got a woof on that one. Wow.
That's coming from a plumber. How beautiful do you think I am? I had to become a plumber.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I'm trying to find her. Okay, here we go.
I think again, you're looking at modern pictures of Stevie.
No,
Stevie didn't
Dude,
age
even
well.
when she was like a teenager, like.
All right.
You're like, oh, maybe she'll grow into it, but then you see the older picture. Oof.
All right. Well, with nothing but oofs from Mike, I can handle that. That works for me, I guess. But she didn't age well either. She didn't start well, according to Mike's book. She didn't age well either.
Really, dude? You see her like late 80s. It's like, actually, you know what? Take that back. I think 80s was more her scene.
Wow. See where we're at with this one.
Coiffed hair. She lost. It looks like her face did that. She did. She definitely got a nose job. That was what she needed. Was the nose job.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think we found a way back around to some sort of all right Stevie Nicks, kind of good looking, even though massive pop star for 40 years, sold millions of albums, probably on millions of boys' walls on a poster.
Yeah, but I got a dozen fans. 2 of them are in Canada.
We went woof to meh to all right, I'll give it to you at 80. 80 years old is where she settled in.
Just so you know, to our 2 Canadian fans, I love you the most because I tell everybody I have an international podcast.
That's right. We have Argentina and a few other places, don't you worry.
International fans.
We're big in the UK as well. I see you out there, my friends.
I don't want people to know I'm gay. I'm just kidding, UK.
Hey, I didn't say France, all right? I just...
Yeah, but they're close enough.
It's very close. Yeah, you're right. They're almost the
gay
same.
Adjacent.
Gay adjacent.
You ever hung out with like some Brits? Those dudes, they like try to fight so much. That's like, I'm starting to feel like you just want to wrestle and like rub up on me. Yeah, what's going on here, dude? You guys are like trying to prove your masculinity too much, you know?
Yeah, I could see it. I'm not, friends with enough Brits to know the experience of
Plus, I judge a lot of these countries by their army's uniform.
Okay, very nice.
So if your army's uniform looks gay, I just assume your whole country's gay.
My knowledge of anything internationally is based on movies from 1990 to 1994. I think that's all I got in my bank.
Probably the best years of Hollywood.
That's what I'm saying, man. Speaking of which, writer strike, nobody still cares. Like,
I love when you bring it up.
Still going on. Still happening. Writer strike. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
The worst part is nobody even cares about all the shows that aren't on.
Because they were so bad. Your product was so bad that nobody cares. You're gone. That should scream volumes to you.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you reminded me. Just so you know, HBO, the only reason I still have HBO today is because I told Nona to cancel it, but it's in my name, so I have to call them to cancel it. I'm like, dude, I don't even want HBO anymore. This writer strike is so stupid. And then I realized, like, I don't even like anything that's on HBO.
No.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yes, that's it. I'm the same way. I was telling Emma, I'm canceling everything we have. Like, we watch Netflix. Emma watches Netflix, and she watches Korean shows and stuff made from Costa Rica and stuff.
Best.
It's like, yeah, it's good stuff.
It's the best.
I'm into it, but
dude, I have Netflix and Amazon. That's all. That's it. Boop, done. I man,
it's
these
over.
These guys, they ruined it.
No,
you know what kills me, dude, is I'm not saying. Listen, this podcast, it's just 2 brothers talking. You know.
Did you say brothers or brothers?
Oh, brothers. Hard on.
Right.
We're brothers.
Watch that hard on.
But, I'm just saying, man, like, how hard is it to put on a show? You guys need this whole team of writers, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Now I think the box checking, the wokeism, again, I'm a firm believer in the studios just pushing these idiots out.
I think you're right, man. Oh my god, I got to stop doing this podcast with you. I forgot to tell you, you're definitely right about that. Did you see the list that came out? The requirements?
No, I did not.
Dude, before the strike, I forgot what day it was, but there's we're about to hit this marker where if you had a syndicated show, you had 10 writers, two of them had to be gay. 2 of them had to be black.
Yes, they had a checklist.
3 of them had to be women.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was an insane quota. I think you were right.
How do you produce content with those restrictions? And those are restrictions, man. That's not inclusivity, it's restrictions.
It's restrictions.
It's complete insanity. And yes, I believe that
You're right.
The studios were like, fine, walk, we're done. We are done with your cockamamie, insane, woke nonsense, all right? That hire people based on talent. It should never matter what the color of your skin is or what your sexual preference is or your genderisms or anything. Like, your talent, who you are as a person, what you bring to the table, how you treat other people around you, like, that is what matters in our society, or at least it used to. We went totally backwards with it. We got to start going forwards again. Where's that guy? Forward party man. Yang, get Yang. I'm a Yang gang man. Get Yang over here. I'm a Yang gang man.
Yang gang.
Where my Yang gangers at, man? My Yanger gangers, baby. Yeah. Come on.
I forgot all about the
Everybody
Yang
forgot
gang,
about the Yang gang. Man, he got embarrassed on Bill Maher like 10 months ago, and he just stopped making appearances everywhere. Bill Maher kind of made fun of him in a way, where he's like, okay, you're doing this third party, but like, what are you doing? You're going forward, like, what's forward? And Yang Gang Man is like, yeah, we're going forward, man. Like, we're not the Democrats, but we're forward. And it just didn't work.
Yeah, it never made sense because you couldn't explain how you were different from the Democrats. And you were, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, I think the big problem with Mr. Yang Gang, Andrew Yang, is that he was the probably loudest spokesperson for UBI, the Universal Basic Income. I believe he was more into it than Bernie Sanders.
No, that was like his thing. Yeah.
That was his thing. And post-COVID, where we essentially did Universal Basic Income, look at the world now. I think the writing's on the wall. People are not interested in just handing out checks unlimited to everybody. It's just not a good idea. It doesn't work. So Yang Gang, the forward movement, it's kind of a losing team there, I got to say.
Did you see that Starbucks employee?
Man, I almost clipped. Did you clip that?
I was trying to find it, but I can't find it.
So yeah, a Starbucks employee sued Starbucks and won like $25 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Almost 25.6 million.
And it was for racism?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But it was a
it's
white
so easy.
woman.
You literally just pick two. It's flipping a coin nowadays with how someone's victimized. It's so fucking funny. It was either racism or some sort of like a gender, based dead naming situation.
Oh, you could always.
It's one or the other. It's LGBTQ sandwich offense or it's race offense. That's the flip of the coin.
I'm trying to find this clip, dude, because it's so fucking funny. Yeah, I can't get one.
It's just imagine living your life and you're one of the coin flips. Like, man, in my opinion, when I see you walking down the street and these coin flip people, all right, the easily offended, the victimized,
you ready?
You're so obvious out there.
You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Private from Stowe has pleaded guilty to terrorism.
Oh, I played the wrong clip.
Oh, but I loved the music. See,
sucked.
it's my favorite part
good.
about local news. You get that
They never let you down.
fantastic beat going in and kind of gets your blood going. You're really excited.
Okay. So here's the gist of it. I'll just talk. I can't find it so much. So everybody remembers 2 black men sat down at a Starbucks and they were asked to leave because they weren't buying anything. And then they were told to use. They said they wanted to use the bathroom. They were told they weren't allowed to use the bathroom and it turns out they were there to meet a realtor. So Starbucks closed all their stores. they did this like racial like sensitivity training.
Yes, I totally remember this now. Yes,
this
absolutely.
is like the whole big deal. During the whole training thing, this chick who was like super high up, or she was like in charge of like all these stores. She was in charge of like 100 and something stores, dude.
That's pretty successful. I'm not gonna lie.
Starbucks. I've never been in charge of 100 anything. You know, right now I'm in charge of 100 feet of rotting cable. So let's put that in perspective. You know,
Yeah, man.
That's what they trust me with. 100 feet of steel made to clean a sewer.
All right, fair enough.
100
Yeah,
feet.
man.
Anyways, so they said she didn't. So I guess her superior black conclusion that she wasn't like being supportive enough.
Wow.
So they fired her, and she just said like, oh, "Hold on, like this is clear racism." Like she just said I was fired because I'm white, and it was like this big push, and they had to blame somebody for this incident, you know?
Yeah, man.
And she won.
20,
I'm telling you, man,
25 million.
I know nobody's talking about it, and nobody cares. It's even, you know, but dude, this is a turning point. I'm telling you, this is the tide turning.
As far as no more wokeism?
I can tell you right now, with this case, you could kiss your reparations goodbye.
I think reparations are dead in the water.
I think we're just gonna go bet. This case proves that okay, we went way too far. You know what? Nobody in America is ready to persecute anybody over anything. So, you know, you're not really a bigot. You're not really a racist. You're not the slave owner just because you're a certain color.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
yes.
Just because you don't want BLM rioting in the street doesn't mean you think black lives don't matter. You know? Like, nobody ever said black lives don't matter.
You never hear the percentage of people who are descendant of slave owners.
Because it's not a good number.
Are you saying it's a huge percentage?
No, it's very low.
Yes, because slave owners, what people don't realize, were the 1%ers of our society. Like the rest of the scum, us, if we were living during that time, we weren't owning people. We were barely owning enough chickens to survive on our fucking plot of land.
The one thing that I've always like, I really like it. It really bothers me when people talk about slavery and everything and like reparations. And one thing I don't think the black people understand that are saying this shit is, if you were rich enough to buy your way out of fighting in the Civil War, you didn't have to go.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the guys who owned slaves were able to send their slaves.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, man.
And next to their slaves were just regular poor white people who had no choice, you know?
Yes, they had to go fight. And it was just sending masses of men to their death. The Civil War was heinous, man. As far as we know, we don't know anything about our past. Keep that in mind.
They just changed the name of was it Fort Benning? No.
It was Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg. Yeah, home of the 82nd.
It is now Fort Freedom.
I don't give a fuck what
remember.
it is. What bothers me about that is like people like will say why would you, they lost. Why would you honor a Confederate general? And my thing is, dude, I had so much respect. Like, we were always taught, like, you know, kill the Haji, you know, and fuck these people over there and all that. It's like, you have to, because you have to have that mentality towards the enemy. You have to be willing to kill them. They have to be like an other. But at the same time, you had to have the utmost respect for them.
Absolutely.
To pick up a fucking rusty, old, used AK-47. 6 guys have used it before you. All of them dead. at like the age of 19. You know what I mean? Probably even younger. And you just pick it up and you decide you're going to take that little AK, that rusty AK, and a couple magazines. You're going to go fucking charge the United States military. Dude, the heart, the intestinal fortitude you have, that is not that, man. For me, I don't even look at you as like, I don't look at you as a piece of shit. All I could think is, I wish we could grab you and take that and harness that for good.
Well, we do have some of that good on our side, though. Don't you think?
No, we do. But you have to think they have it too. I don't know. I
agree with you.
Like our terrorist is their freedom fighter.
Absolutely.
That's their soldier.
For sure.
It's all a matter of which God you believe in, which side you stand on.
You know what's it's untrue in a way, though, because in some worlds, our hero is the terrorist, even on his own turf. And Mike, you were right.
In New York, a grand jury has indicted Daniel Penny. He's the former Marine who placed a homeless man in a fatal chokehold on a subway car. Emily Aketa is following this. Emily, what more do we know?
Lester, we learned late today a grand jury indicted Daniel Penny on second-degree manslaughter, according to two sources familiar with the matter.
No, he's going to jail.
The 24-year-old Marine veteran was seen on camera in
he's going to be right next to Derek
Jordan
Chauvin.
Neely in a deadly chokehold on a New York City subway. Witnesses say Neely, who was homeless and suffering from mental illness, had been making threats and harassing passengers on the train before the altercation, according to the assistant district attorney. Penny wasn't arrested for Neely's death until about 2 weeks after the incident. That delay sparking protests in New York City.
I don't understand how you can look at this and not be red-pilled immediately.
I'm so disgusted by this story. I can't believe this guy's going to jail, dude.
Well, dude, I'm not even joking. This one kills me because when you listen to both sides,
he's a Marine, by the way.
When you listen to left-wing media, this white man placed a black man in a deadly chokehold meant to cut off the blood flow to his brain. Dude. This guy, was he singing too loud in church? You know what I mean? Was this guy fucking singing in the goddamn choir and this white man just fucking walked in and started strangling him? Because that's what you guys are making it sound like.
Yeah, I'm floored by this one.
And then you listen to the right-wing media, and of course they're putting their own spin on it. And this is what I try to get everybody is like, dude, I know Ben Shapiro's putting his spin on it. The difference is he's telling me he puts a spin on it. You know what I mean? And I know he's good. It's still closer to the truth.
It's craziness. You were right on the money. You were the first person to call it. I even argued you when the story came out, and you are right on the money. You nailed it.
I argued the entire family
months ago.
Everybody,
you saw the path so clear as day. They were going to arrest this man, indict him, and he's going to prison. He's going to sit next to Chauvin in the cell. It's so insane over a homeless man with mental illness.
A Marine veteran.
A Marine vet. We have gone so backwards as a society.
There's nothing I want to do more than shit on the Marine.
Exactly. I know how you feel about Marines.
I'm just but man,
mind blown.
This guy has done more as a Marine and as a citizen.
Yes.
Killing this man. Not killing it, but I mean, like, trying to step in and save these people. Like,
stop
this
them from
man
harassing.
has done more as a citizen or as a civilian and as a Marine than 99% of this country.
I ask this all the time. Who do you want as your neighbor? Do you want
Yes.
Do you want this fella Mr. Peely? What is his name? I keep losing his name all the time.
I know. I have
Mr. Penny. Do you want Daniel Penny to be your neighbor, the ex-Marine? Or do you want the Michael Jackson impersonator to be your unhoused neighbor living in front of your house in a tent? Who do you want as your neighbor? Who would you prefer?
Okay. Yeah, one I'm going to help you move in. The other one I'm going to take my backpack blower and blow your tent when I do my lawn every week.
Because now we're going to imprison a guy, the guy you would prefer as your neighbor, for subduing the homeless dude living in the tent outside your house. You know, your unhoused neighbor that all the publications now like to call them, unhoused neighbors. Well, your unhoused neighbor with mental illness who's harassing and attacking women on the street, He's
And
now
you
the
guys-
reason for this guy to go to prison. An ex-Marine. It's unbelievable to me.
And it's the party that like swears they're for the veterans. They're all about the veterans.
not
They're
at
all
all.
about the soldiers. They're all about the Marines. You know what I mean? We understand what you guys have been through and everything. Well, do you guys understand that this guy was trained to protect?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
That's right.
He saw vulnerable people, and he stopped the threat. You know, like
For sure.
I don't know.
No, it's a tragic story,
it's
but
insane.
I wanted to throw it out there only because you
I
nailed
hate
it,
it.
and I think you,
Yeah.
you are deserved the credit, sir, for hitting that
No,
one.
it's the one of those where you don't want to be right.
No, you see the
It's
pattern.
the worst I told you so. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
terrible I told you so.
You see the
I hate
pattern,
these.
you realize what's happening.
The past 3 years have just been I told you so's that you don't want to say.
The worst I told you so's ever, and that's the trick
know?
to being the conspiracy theorist. And then on top of all that, Mike, because we have a little time, I'm going to throw it in there. I loved it. You sent it my way. Elon Musk answering some questions about going to Mars.
Oh, this is beautiful.
You're 47. What is the likelihood that you personally will go to Mars?
70%.
This
Dude, he answered it so fast! Hold on, sorry.
So
Dude, he
fast.
never answers any question
I
fast.
know.
That guy takes 20 minutes
Yes.
to answer whether it's like what
psycho, bro,
what
you're
flavor ice cream. It's 20 minutes. That guy answered so fast, 70%. He's done the math, dude.
You're psycho. That is what got me. That's why I called the live show 70%. That freaking floored me, dude. He takes an hour to answer any question within microseconds. The man said 70%. Wow. He knows. He knows. They have mathed it out, man. Like they know they have a 70% chance of
He had
survival.
an intern. The internship was 4 years. He spent the whole 4 years on one decision: blue or black socks. Are you going to Mars? 70%. Whoa!
Wow. This is a great clip, man. He floors me on this one.
Percent.
This could be an escape hatch for rich people.
No. Your probability of dying on Mars is much higher than Earth. Really, the ad for going to Mars would be like Shackleton's ad for going to the Antarctic. It's going to be hard. There's a good chance of death. Going in a little can through deep space. You might land successfully. Once you land successfully, there will be you'll be working nonstop to build the base. So not much time for leisure. And once you get there, even after doing all this, there's a very harsh environment, so there's a good chance you die there. We think you can come back, but we're
I
not
don't
sure.
know if he's an alien, but he's definitely not American.
No, he's from South
American.
Africa. He's from South Africa.
That sounds like an escape hatch for rich people.
No American wants to work that hard.
Well, no, that's funny you say that. I thought he's clearly not from America because he said leisure instead of leisure.
I thought maybe he just fucked all the women. Now he's starting to go the other way.
I don't know what that means. But I'll accept it. He's not from this earth. There's no doubt about it. The man is from a different plane of existence, some
I heard
other
he landed
dimension.
in Vegas the other day.
Have you seen? There's a bunch of stuff. That guy that we did a clip on, the whistleblower. He did the interview with Newsmax, and they go into kind of in depth on how what we're witnessing with the UFOs are 5D, 6D, fifth and sixth dimensional crafts that are entering our 3-dimensional plane, and that's why we're seeing spheres and disks, because it's really massive crafts that are entering our plane, but we can't perceive it, and so we're perceiving it only as a 3D creature would perceive it or see it. And so the reason and the basis for this, they claim, is that people who have been taken up into these spaceships, into these crafts, they all describe how the second they're in the craft, it's much larger inside than they saw from outside. So there's a dimensional warp when you enter the craft.
Nah, BS.
BS? You just give me a BS? I just dropped such a mind-blowing bombshell of information there. Come on, dude. The fact that UFOs look the way they do to us is because it's it's other dimensional craft entering our dimensional plane, and that's how we perceive it. That's awesome shit, man.
The reason I'm mad in it is because when they speak of like 11 dimensions and everything like that, and like they're like, oh, there's 11 dimensions of space. These are mathematical, like there's. It's not as simple.
Check it out. You're
the idea,
me
the
now
idea
because...
of I'm gonna see a sphere from another dimension is a very cartoonish
We see the
version
sphere
of what multi-dimensions are. To be like something from like a higher dimension to come in.
Did you
to
process
say that
what I said?
went to a fifth dimensional like?
Oh, I knew it. It's a great show. I knew he was gonna fucking argue. Great show as always. Wowza.